So we're now going to look at our second project using the Ocean Shore collection, and this time we're going to try and introduce some of our other dies. We're now going to use our lovely Lighting the Way die cut. Isn't this gorgeous with all of this detail, all of the sand dunes and the waves cut into the die? Look at the charisma. We've got some clouds as well, so we can use those if we want. So let's cut this one out. So pop the die over the charisma. Fits perfectly if you've printed it out right. So take that down, see if I can find the little cloud dies. Might as well cut them out while we're at it. So find those, there we are. And they will just pop over the charisma and cut it out. So we can put one on and the second one and then cut those out. Cut them out just like that. So pop it back onto the charisma and there we go. So we can now pop those onto our cutting mat. Now you do have a foundation die for this, not that we're going to use it. So let's have a look at my card base. So I've just got a square card and I've used some craft card. Craft card works so well tonally with this collection. Can you see how beautiful it looks next to that image? And that's just one off the USB. So I'm going to pop my craft card on just with a bit of wet glue, but you'll probably find that because it's craft card, we have to use maybe a little bit more glue than you would otherwise, just because the card's quite fibrous. So we can pop that on there, plenty of glue. Well, really, I've got plenty of glue on here, haven't we? So pop that onto there, and that's going to go onto our card front. So just starting with our mats and layers or our perfect frames. So, oh, a little bit of glue, never mind. And then we can go on with the detailed layer. So can you see how lovely that frame looks all the way around the edge? It's just the perfect size, but the colours are absolutely perfect too. So a little bit more wet glue all the way across, and then we can pop that onto our card base. There we are. There we go. So pop it down, it goes onto there just like that, and creates the perfect image. So I think it looks really beautiful. So there we go. So what we need to do now is we need to bring in our die cut, and die cut works really, really well with these backing papers. So there's our Lighting the Way, and we can pop that onto the sea. But for me, you've got to be careful where you pop it. You see this horizon here? It needs to match, for me, round there. So if we just line it up, can you see the lighthouse now just looks there? It looks perfect when you line that horizon up. If you drop it down too much, it's not going to look as good. There we go. I just think that is the perfect spot for it. So can you see all that detail cut into it? Absolutely lovely. So then a little bit of shaping, and then we can pop it onto our card base. Don't worry about the edges that are shown in the side, because look, we've got a topper with this an aperture cut out, and once we cut the aperture out, hardly anything is shown. You certainly don't see the edge pieces, so it works beautifully. But we've got the scene and we've got that texture and dimension, so that now needs to be stuck down. So once we've got that, don't worry about that little bit showing at the bottom. We're going to work with that in a minute. So I'm going to get my glue gel and I'm going to really, really try and lift it. So I've only shaped it with my hands. You don't need to do any more than that. So pop the glue gel on the back and then pop it onto your card front. Don't forget to line up those horizons if that's how you want to use it. And then you've got your extra layer. So all I've done here is cut 2 squares out, and I've cut 1 circle out of each layer and then matted them together to give me consecutive frames, consecutively sized frames, should I say even. So those are going to work beautifully, and they're going to all help to focus in on our image. I've got a little bit of twine on here, so that's again adding to that seaside vibe. But everything that you can see here we could be doing on home decor or on our scrapbooks. So let's have a look at this. So these are our beach huts. So you get 2 beach huts, and you also get 2 dies. You get one with your detail, it's going to pop on there, and one with your foundation as well. But if we cut out there, you can see it's going to cut those windows out. So we can then got the foundations as well. What I've actually done is I've used the foundations to cut out the charisma, even though we'll get a little bit of a border all the way around. I then trimmed it down because I only need one beech hook. It's quite a large die. So you can see it's just trimmed down just down the side. And by popping that on there, we've now got something behind the doors and windows. Otherwise, it would have been a bit floaty. You see, just there. I'll show you. If you put this die cut straight onto the card, can you see how you can see everything that's behind it and it doesn't look as good? As soon as we put that solid layer, it really lifts it, doesn't it? It really brings it forward and makes it a bit more of a wow impact. So I'm going to go in with my dimensional glue just to add a little bit of extra shape to it. And that's going to just pop on top of the solid layer. So pop that on there. There, that's perfect. So we can work out where we want that to be and then size it accordingly. So just pop those onto there and then put a little bit of your glue gel on the back. There we go. So glue gel, I put a nice big blob at the top because that bit is going to go through the aperture. We want to make sure it holds. Now, let's just adjust this slightly so it comes right off the edge of the card, and I think it'll look a lot nicer for it. So then we just want to decorate the card up. So I've got some clouds that we can pop through the aperture as well, working with that cloudy sky on the background. So just pop that there. Oh, we don't want to cover up the lighthouse. So pull it through and there we've got our clouds. Do you think we can tuck this string out of the way? I think we should. There, that's better. Right, so the next bit I've got is I've got a boat. It's an abandoned boat, so let's abandon our boat on the seashore, just like that. Can you see how we've now covered up where that die cut joined before? It looks really, really lovely. So I've got a couple of seagulls, cheeky seagulls. So the first one is going to be standing on the boat. A little bit of glue gel and then we can pop him onto the boat just there. And then we've got a flying seagull. So we're just building up the scene. We're telling a story. We're creating that beautiful vista through that round circle. So that one goes just there. And then we can put some groins on. So it all adds to the detail, doesn't it? To the realism. It just completes that story. So a little bit of wet glue, pop that on there, and then this goes like that. Absolutely spot on. Oh, I need a bit more glue. Just at the top here where it's going through the aperture. There we go. And pop those on. Now all I need to do to finish this is add a sentiment. Really, really sweet. And then we can pop that on. So I'm just putting glue just where that bit of the card touches. So pop that on, just on there. And that now is our card. So remember, what we've done now with a card, you could be doing with your scrapbook pages, and you could also be doing with your home decor.